Hi. Welcome to another edition of Luthier's Lair. This little series, maybe just one episode, probably two, is going to be a refinish that I'm going to be doing of a Hofner Ignition Replica bass I made 4 years ago or something, about 4 years ago. I want to do a refinish on it and then sell it, so that's what we're going to be doing. I finished it, I kind of relicked it and made it had a little flame maple top that wasn't book matched or anything. Looks kind of weird, so I'm thinking I'm going to do a paint job on this and let's see how it goes. I don't know what I'll call the model, because it is significantly more different from the original Hofner Ignition that I can probably relabel it. We'll see. Anyway, well, let's get down to it. I'll show you the bass and I'll show you what I plan to do to it. Okay, let's go. Hey, so here it is. Yeah, it was about 4.5 years ago I built this bass, and based on the original Hofner Ignition design. And what I did with it was I left the natural wood, stained it, made it look relict and worn, especially around here. And the wood I got was not really book matched properly, and I'm just thinking to myself now, nah, let's just refinish it, shall we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely strip it down. It's a set neck, by the way, a glue-in neck, so I don't want to cut the neck out or anything. And I'm going to tape all the binding off, stuff like that, and I'm either going to finish it in a black peel coat with the top coat colour shift effect in it, or a metallic blue. Now, I've never seen a metallic blue Hofner Ignition before, so I might go with that. I've never seen one like that either, but those are the two that I'm thinking of going with. And I'll probably end up going with the blue, I would think. I'll double check all the electronics, everything, but the first thing is to get it stripped, get everything out of there, and have my cardboard box ready with a bunch of baggies in there to hold all the goodies, and let's get it stripped down to its until it's naked. Okay, cool. Well, I have all the hardware stripped off of the bass. Everything's off the bass, and the first thing I'm noticing is it's in a surprisingly good condition. Very good neck indeed. For the whole lot, I'm going to leave the headstock here plain wood colour, the face of it anyway, and then paint the rest, the neck and everything. The tricky part is obviously going to be masking off the binding, which kind of needs scraped anyway. So I'll probably scrape the binding before I mask it off. Does that need glued? No, it doesn't. But the first thing to do is to get this sanded down to maybe between 400 and 800 grit, so that it can take a coat of paint. And then, since it's a flame top, flame maple, I might put some grain filler in it, because there is relict parts there that I want filled. Now, I don't want it relict anymore. I don't want it. So, same with the back. I believe I used walnut last time, and again, just one coat of grain filler there will do it. This has been oil finished. I see I did an oil finish on this, so that's good. We sand it down to, I'll start off with 400 since it's nice and smooth, and we'll go from there. It's going to be fun. Well, oh, excuse me, just had lunch. As you can see, I've just began to start sanding this 400 grit, and the first thing I can tell is I did a pretty good oil job on this the last time I finished it. How can I tell that? Well, as I'm sanding it here. Not going any particular way, but trying to keep with the plain top, although it's not going to be seen ever again. how that nicely that's powdering up. It's very good, and it's not pilling up the sandpaper either. And just a quick wipe with a paper towel. Now what I'm using here is a pencil eraser because, of course, as we all know, Hofner Ignitions had carved tops, meaning it's multi-contoured, it's not flat. So use something that's flexible to sand it. You know, you don't want to be taking the contour out of it. With 400 it'd be hard put to do that anyway, with 400 grit. But just to make ultra sure, use a pencil eraser as a sanding block. And make it a smallish pencil eraser. Look, see that powdering up? That's the oil finish that was on it before. Don't push hard, let the paper do the work. Always let the paper do the work. Skim it across the top. You're going to get a really smooth surface. Okay? And just keep going until it's all sanded down smooth. Keep wiping the sandpaper so it doesn't pill up too much. You'll prolong the life of the sandpaper doing that. As you can see, look, it's really smooth. In fact, I might just need a sanding sealer on this. Depends how level the relicking I did is though. See here, it's not that level, but I might get away with 1 quart of grain filler to deal with that, and then sand and sealer. So let's get going again. Cool. Actually, the thing that's remarkably obvious about this, and I failed to mention it, and neglected to mention it anyway, is that the old oil finish has done a remarkably good job of sealing the wood. So I don't go all the way through it and just get to the surface of it. The wood will still be sealed, the grain will be sealed, and I can paint right over the top of it because it's been filled. That's the good thing about this. It's starting to pill up a little bit there. Oh, another thing, you know, if your sandpaper does pill up a bit, get another piece of sandpaper. Really, I mean, you don't want to be, you know, this is not bad right now, but you don't want to be fixing scratches that shouldn't have been there in the first place. Shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Right, so go over it, keep checking your sandpaper, do little bits at a time. See, there's a lot of dust coming out. Look, see, that's starting to pill up. Now, if I can't reasonably get that out, and I can't, new piece of sandpaper. New piece. Yes. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You will save yourself a lot of time and a lot of hassle by doing that. Just that. Factor in the cost of your sandpaper into your bottom line, you know, as it were. And that's nice and clean. So, let's keep going. Alright, this is about paint grade now. All sanded down. The relicking is even flattened out, and there's no ridges there. Nothing I can detect, really, and by hand is fine to do that. Let's give it a little alcohol wash, get all the crap out of there, and see what the surface looks like. This will show up blemishes and scratches and stuff like that. So, see, it looks pretty good. Get all the crap out of there. Yeah. It looks pretty good. That's shiny. Yeah. Yeah, is it? Yeah, that's it. You can see where I've done the relicking. This was actually an order I had that fell through. It fell through, so I just went ahead and finished it anyway. and I don't like relicing bases much. I like to let time do that. Sometimes it's cool. It depends what you come up with. It really does. And it got there was a fad there for a while. I just don't know if it's still going. You see, I got a lot of crud out of there. It's kind of remnants of oil that was in there. The alcohol flashes off pretty quick, and then you can see that that is pretty much paint grade. I will put a coat of water-based sanding sealer on this though. And of course, by sanding, I've got the binding all nice and gleamy white again around there. That's going to be a bugger to mask off. I don't usually deal with binding. I did 3 bases with binding, and this is a pain, but I have to admit the effect's nice, you know, it is nice. Gives it that vintagey, classical look, you know, if you're into that, which I kinda am sometimes. A little bit there needs to be coming off on the binding. There we go. Just wipe that off there. Okay, that's all the crud off. That's the top done. Next, the back, the sides, and then the neck. So we've got a lot of sanding to do. And that took about 40 minutes to get that to where I wanted it to be. And there's still, you know, there's still little bits of oil there, which is good. It's still filling the wood. I will go over it with sand and sealer though. This does not need grain filler. Don't know about the back though. There's the back. A very nice antique oil finish I put on it. Even runs in the oil around here, which the customer wanted for some reason. I don't know why. I wouldn't finish paste like that. But you know, wow, you know, whatever you want. And yeah, let's get on with the back. Awesome. Well, just did the back of Fiddle Bass, and I had to use 220 to get all the oil down to the level of the grain of the wood. I don't know why, and I can't remember there being any trouble with the back 4.5 years ago, but it looks like I may have had a bit of trouble. So 220, then 400. Have to go over it again with 400, get it to paint grade, and see what's going on. I'll show you what I mean. So here you see what I'm saying. It's very patchy looking. There are low spots all over the place. You know, even although the surface is kind of smooth there, there's kind of like, I don't know if you can see this in this light, but there's tiny scratches in the surface. I think I might be able to bring these out a bit better. Just give it a quick alcohol wash. Just a quick alcohol wash. This is my alcohol cloth. And yeah, give that a good sniff. No, I'm just joking. Wipe that to see what comes up. It's not bad. I mean, the wood is mottled by nature anyway, but it's not bad. I think that's okay. 220 there. I can go over that in 400 and be sure that I'll have a smooth surface if I put 1 coat of grain filler on and 1 coat of sanding sealer, or maybe 2. For sanding sealer, I'm probably going to use a water-based sanding sealer and not shellac this time. I think will be the order of the day. And I'm not even sure that I should touch this neck, because it looks pretty freaking awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay, been pretty lucky with the sides. This is 400 grit. The back was done by the way to 400, it's fine now. And all I need to do now is just flatten this out on the sides. The grain is completely filled on the sides, amazingly. I think it's because of the way the grain is flowing on the sides and the way I probably finished it was to let it seep like this, and it went in really well. A couple of scores there, but they're level, and all I need to do is just flatten this down. I don't even need to fill or seal this, because it is filled and sealed. I just need to take the very top layer off, and this is extremely smooth, and this is at 400 grit. It feels like it's like 800 or something. So this is only going to take about half an hour to get the sides done. Now, I might try Scotch Brighten the neck and seeing how I feel about it. Now, you know, should I really paint the neck on a Hofner Ignition replica? You know, that's one of the questions I need to ask. Of course, I'm also cleaning up the binding here. As you can see, it's really standing out now. It's looking really good. So, onwards and upwards. So, after a bit of a rough Scotch Brite, what I'm finding is I don't like the look of the heel of the neck here. It's a glue-in or a set neck. I don't like the look at all. And although these joints here are mechanically ultra sound, not high frequency but just really solid, they don't look good. They're not aesthetically pleasing to me. And even up here by the headstock, you know, where you make the shoe joint up here, it's just not what I want it to be. So yeah, I'm going to be painting the neck too. And there is a blemish in the wood. I must have filled that. I don't know. It just appeared after I took the earl off it. And there it is. I mean, it's absolutely flat, but it's there. You know, you can see it. So, you know what? I'm going to make this uniform all metallic blue except for the headstock on the front, and I will doctor that up as well. But the last thing to do here is go over everything else. Everything else is down to 400 grit, including the sides. The binding has been cleaned up and shaved, ready to be masked off, and the rest, all I need to do now is just buff it up with this this pad here. Is a 3M pad actually. You can tell because it's brown. Scotch Brite's green, usually. Anyway, so, or blue, whatever, right? So, back in a few. So everything's sanded down to 400, everything's sealed, everything ready for paint, or is it? Now, this is the relic part that I was most concerned about, where the customer wanted something that looked like it had been played and scuffed a lot. However, there is a slight, I don't know if you can see that. The shadows are crap in here. See? You see that now? Yeah, I see it. Tiny little gap in there I'd like to fill. And I don't think wood filler is going to do the job, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that up. Just scrape in there. Take any tool that's narrow enough to scrape in there without damaging the rest of the surface. You know, we'll clean it up and we'll put some glue and wood filler mixture in there. And then we'll sand it again. Then we'll paint. Okay? Gotta make this look good. I mean, it sounded fantastic, you know, but I just wanted to refinish it. It's going to get a lot more market value with an unusual, you know, an unusual finish, and everything's going to be beautiful on it. And I'm thinking about certain electronics in here, in it, that might be different, or I might just keep it the same as the vintage. Anyway, let's see. Okay, it's down, it's ready, it's down to paint grade. I've got all the binding masked off. that I want. I don't care about the front binding. Screw that, you know. It's very thin anyway. So, how am I going to do this paint job in one go? If I hold it there, I'm going to get spray paint on my hand, right? So, the idea is to come here and put a bolt through there, okay, and hang it like a hangman's noose, and have a rotating pivot that I can just go, so I can build that up really quick. That's good, that's fine. Can build that up really quick, and let's have a bash at it, shall we? Let's see what happens next. This is going to be a comedy of errors. Awesome. Not really. Oh, I think we're ready. Yes. All taped off. There you go. Just waiting for good weather. Shit, what do we do? I think I'll hang a bolt in the headstock and swivel it around and paint it like a painty thing. I think that's what we'll do. You think? I think so. Awesome. Well, here we are. I just put on 3 coats of metallic blue paint on this base here, and the first clear coat is on. Sorry about the lighting conditions, the shade and all that. Let's see if I can actually find a better vantage point. Everything's really... Ooh. It's very bright out here. That'll do. Anyway, so we're going to go with that. There's a lot of contrast here as well, so maybe I'll stick the tripod around the other side. Hold on. That's a bit better. Yeah, so I'm about 3 minutes away from putting the second coat of clear coat on here. It's flashed almost dry to the touch actually. The wind's picking up slightly, but that's okay. You get used to the sway and stuff. It's hanging up. Since it's a set neck, I thought I'd do it all at once. And let's go. We go. There we go again. second coat. Okay, nice and early on a Saturday morning. I did the spray painting yesterday. It's been about 16 hours and almost dry to the touch, and we'll need to sit there and cure for about a week maybe, because I didn't use catalyzed polyurethane on the Hofner, hollow body and all that. So that's how it looks from the back. Looking okay, nice and shiny. Ooh, bright light, Magwai. So it's looking okay, nice and even. Everything went on evenly. I don't anticipate having to buff this down and recoat it. And we'll have a look at the front. And there's the front. Catching the light beautifully. Once it's dry, we'll get them closer in on it. Give you a look. And of course the neck's masked off. And so is the headstock. So wood front, headstock, everything else. Blue man. So looking quite good, right? Indeedy. Yes. So that's about all we've got time for this episode. It's going quite well, this refurbishment. I'm quite happy with it so far. I think, it'll be a little two-parter, this one. Next week we'll get it all assembled again, test it out, and we'll play test it. See if it still sounds as good. Pretty sure it will. So, until then, as always, be good, stay safe. We'll catch you next time, okay? Cheers. Bye-bye.